What I want to talk about today is doing what's right versus doing what's easy. Okay. A framework for making decisions and for living your life. So, as I've been thinking, I've been pondering over this concept, and I'm going to tell you about today for me specifically and this week. But as I've been pondering this exact thing, this line, which is doing what's right, not what's easy. It's a powerful line. And I've been thinking, and as I started thinking more and more, I realized the greatest things that have happened to me in my life, okay, which by the way, also ironically are the most satisfactory, okay, those have come as a result of making that hard decision to do what was right versus what was easy. Let me repeat that. The greatest, I'm not talking about some of, I'm talking about the greatest. You guys remember my live stream, and some of you that just joined watched it recently, Exhausted but Satisfied. Do you know that every single one of the moments that I can trace back to that had it started with choosing what was right, not what was easy? So, first of all, how do you determine, how do you define what is right? Okay, because choose what is right, not what is easy. So, what is right? How do you define what is right? Okay, this isn't a religious sermon. This isn't a whatever. It isn't. I'm not going there. It's not what this is about. What I'm gonna propose to you guys is we look at the word right and we define the word right as the things that get you closest to your goal. Okay. So for example, doing something that is right is something that you need to do that's going to push the needle. It's going to push the needle on you getting closer to your goal. That's how we're going to define right. It's not about all this random, that is how we're going to define it. Okay. And that's how I define it in the context of business. Okay. Now you can take this and swim with it into your personal life, but I'm talking about business. Okay. So we're going to define it as that is what is right. How do we make decisions on a consistent basis? What if we made decisions on a consistent basis and our one framework was, let me do what's right versus what is easy, aka let me do the thing or the things that are going to get me closer to my goal versus what's easy. Okay. And that is very challenging. It's a very simple framework, but it's really, really hard to do. So I'm going to give you guys a couple examples. Okay. I'm going to give you some examples that I did a couple years ago. I'm going to give you some examples that I did today, literally with this framework. And I'm not perfect at it, but I'm telling you, as you use this framework and as your decisions are made based on this framework, you are not only going to get the closest, you're going to get to your goals the fastest, you're going to get as close as possible, the quickest, but you're also going to be the most fulfilled. It's going to be the most satisfying. When you lay your head on the pillow, you guys have all had those days where it's been exhausting and it feels shitty because you did a whole bunch of stuff that didn't move the needle, right? You just ran and called and fire. You've also been on the other end where you get done, like for me yesterday, and it was like boom, 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 boom. That was shitty, but I needed to do it, and I got closer to my goal, and I laid my head on my pillow, and it was a damn good day. Okay. We need to string more of those together, but I'm going to give you a couple ideas. So I want you to ponder over these. Okay. And I want you guys, get your dang pens out, get your notebook. I want you guys to take something from this. Everyone's going to take something different. Everyone's going to have different ideas that they're going to want to apply. And you guys got to apply stuff from this call. Okay. I'm not wasting my time being on here just to hear myself talk. Okay. I could go record myself and just keep rewatching it, which I do for fun anyway. Okay. So a couple things a couple ideas. Okay. Doing what is right instead of what was easy for me was the decision back in 2017 on July 28th when I sat down with my wife and she said, it's time for you to go get a job. It's time for you to start taking care of the family. It's time for you to stop chasing the pipe dream. The easy thing was to go and call my buddy Brad, who I literally had a position for a decent amount of money, salary guaranteed. I hadn't made money in I don't know how long. I hadn't made money. I'd been spending. The easy thing was to go take that job, right? But guess what? My goals didn't match that. If I would have taken that job, I would have taken a step back, okay, instead of a step forward. I knew for me to hit the goals I wanted to hit, I had to be an entrepreneur. So I made the hard decision, and it wasn't easy to go and get $3,000 in 3 days. Of course, it wasn't easy. wasn't easy to go in and sell myself to the devil and build an SEO company for 6, 7, 8, almost a year to pay the bills. That wasn't easy, okay? But I did it. That was one example. I did it because it was the right thing to do, right being it got me closer to my goals. Another example, with that same situation, the right decision when I had this situation, I had $60,000 in debt, y'all. $60,000 in debt. I had taken money from people. The developer, he fucked me over. And I know you guys hear these stories like people talk about starting businesses and they're like, yeah, my partner screwed me. And I didn't believe it either. Guys, I literally paid this guy $50K, nothing, not a line of code, nothing, right? I had sold clients, I had contracts, I was spending the money to live, and I had nothing, right? Okay. The right thing to do was to pay the money back and get $60,000 in debt, not be a little bitch and file bankruptcy. That was the right thing to do because I didn't want to put myself back. I didn't want to have to deal with that. If I wanted to buy rental properties and I want to do all this stuff, I didn't want that on my credit. Okay. And it just didn't sit well with me. That was the right thing to do. It got me closer to my goal. I don't know where I'd be today if I hadn't. Okay. So that's another idea. Okay. One of the biggest ones for me, and I've talked about this so many times, I'll talk about it again. The decision I made in December of 2019, where I literally called and I said, and you guys know Shiv from JK. You guys know who that is. I called him and I said, dude, I'm tired of this. I am making, and I was doing Paperly and I was doing SEO and I was making like 8 to 10K a month, but I'm like, I'm tired of this game, man. I'm tired. Put people on my calendar. I'm a sales guy and I wanted to do what was easy. What was easy for me was to go and sell, to show up in the morning, to not think about it, to have people on my calendar and to just go sell. That was easy. That was the easy decision. The right decision was to tell him, you know what, man, I know that I could get to 20K quicker, but my goal is to get to 100K a month. And I did the math and I knew I would never get to 100K being a sales guy for somebody else. I knew I wouldn't. So I didn't do it. And I buckled down and I figured out, and I knew flat fee was the game. And I grinded and I grinded and I tried and failed. And April 15th or April 20th or whatever day I pitched Alex in Asheville happened and the light bulb went off. And that was the moment that everything changed. But that's because I made the right decision to get me closer to my goals.